Hello, 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 darlings. Welcome to Girl Stop, where we talk straight. We are accountable. And yes, as always, we move forward. I am hoping that you guys can hear me this time. I have been having some issues with my system. So because I did something. So I'm not sure if I had a chance to get it fixed. I just thought about it again as I came into the room. So I'm not sure if I got that taken care of, although I played with it quite a bit the last time. I'm not sure. So today, I'm going to be kind of wrapping up our series, Living Above Our Circumstances. So as you come in, those that get to come in, I know last week I just messed up this whole thing. So I'm not sure if you guys can hear me again or not because I've been playing with this, but I didn't get a chance to test it. So if you come in and you can't hear me, let me know you can't hear me because if that's the case, I'm going to go back out, come in on another system and just come straight into Facebook Live. So if you're there, say hey to me. If you can hear me, let me know you can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know that as well. Okay. Thank you, Nala. Glad to have you here with me. Appreciate that. And so I'm just letting you guys know as you come in, say hey, hello. I see a Facebook user right above the where we are on the page. There's a link that you can click on that lets me see who you are once because we stream through another system. Thank you. I'm glad that you can hear me as well. Hello, Glenda. Hello. I'm glad you ladies are in. I want to wrap up our living above our circumstances today. I didn't invite a guest in because I wanted to wrap it up today because I know we won't be here Thursday to do that. So one of the things I want to talk to you guys about is we've heard different people. Hello. Another Facebook user. We've heard as women came in on Tuesdays, just kind of giving their testimony and sharing with you about living above your circumstance. We've heard a lot of stuff, but I want to talk to you as we wrap this thing up because I want you to walk away with this and carry it with you because I always like to give real examples of how you can make something happen for you. And so I was reading a memoir about Martha Mason, and this is an old memoir. She actually died in 2009. And at the age of, I believe it was 10 or 11, she got diagnosed with polio after her brother passed away from it. They were just children. And so she talks about how the doctor came into her and explained to her what was going on with her. And his explanation was that she had an excellent mind. She had an exuberant spirit locked inside of her inert body. And so he asked her, did she think she could live with that? And her response to him was, at 12 years old now, y'all, at 12, her response with him was, no, but I can live above it. And she went on, at 12, she made this response. And she went on to live her life and graduated at the top of her class from Wake Forest and has always lived above that circumstance. She went and did things that she dreamed of, although she was encased in a body. They described it as having a 600, I think it was 600 pound, 800-pound iron lung as you live with this particular disease. But she still went on and lived until she was 61. But she lived above her circumstance. She still reached her dream. She still did things that others probably thought she couldn't do. So I want to define for you, and I want you to take this away with you. And I don't have my keyboard in front of me, so I want to make sure I wrote some of this in here as well. But to remember that one of the ways to live is to be clear about who you are. So you define who you are. You define, I can't type and talk sometimes. So you define who you are. You get the opportunity to do that. And if you define who you are, be clear about what defines you, then you won't let your circumstance be the definer of you. Can I get somebody to kind of understand what I'm saying? Agree with that? That if I have already defined myself and I know who I am and I'm repeating that over and over and over again, even when a circumstance come up or a situation come up or a disagreement come up or somebody rejects me or somebody abandons me, we just talked about that on the Connect Up that's coming out. if I have clearly defined who I am prior to anything, then it doesn't matter what the circumstance is. I'm going to live by, these are things to live by. I'm going to give you 3 things to live by that'll help you when a circumstance comes upon you. If you've already clearly defined who you are, you don't change who you are just because the circumstance comes. You become more of who you said that you are. So clearly defined, stand on that, know who you are, understand that you're created with a purpose, and be crystal clear about what makes you tick. Understand, define. You get to define you. Nobody else gets to define you. So you're not flashing all over the place when stuff starts coming, trying to define you. The circumstance doesn't define you. You define it out of the circumstance. You don't, it doesn't get to tell you who you are. Number 2, and you know this is a blurb, so I'm going through this, is live according to values that stand independent of your circumstances. In other words, if I'm a person that I don't steal, and I find myself in a horrible, horrible situation that I need something that normally, but I have defined myself a certain way. And one of my values is I walk in integrity. So when something comes up, you know how life is. Sometimes it pushes you in a corner and you want to respond a certain way. But if you have defined yourself already and you are living according to a core set of values, when those things come against you, you stay within what you've already defined. You don't come out of it. So a perfect example, and I've shared this before, that when me and Chris, we are still married, but early on in the marriage, this job, GE, General Electric, laid off all the time. And so I remember this one time, this guy approached him that worked at General Electric, but him and his dad ran, they sold drugs and had their own farm and all this stuff here or something. And I don't know. But anyway, so they approached him to be a part of their team to say, hey, this is what we're doing. I know you want to take care of your family. You always have. This is what we can do. This is how we can make this happen for you. You'll be good. You'll be taken care of. But our values said no, although our circumstances and people, desperate people, remember that, do desperate things. But if you've already defined who you are, you just stand on your core values of who you are. Don't let that define you. Don't let that push you out of who you already know that you are. Is that making sense to y'all? Are you grasping that? That you don't let the situation take you out of who you already are designed to be and who you are. And I don't care how hard it gets. I don't care how it looks. You define it. You get to decide what makes you. You don't let it make you. You decide how you're going to shape and come out of that circumstance. Number 3, go ahead and practice living above every circumstance that could present itself, even before it presents itself. So in other words, if I've already defined who I am and who I believe I am, and that I'm going to walk uprightly, I'm going to do this thing the way the word says that I should do it, then when circumstances come and life situations present themselves, if I'm already living that way, I already been practicing living that way, I'm not trying to get there, then when it presents itself to me, I'm already above that circumstance that just presented itself to me. Because why? I'm going to keep writing out how I've already defined how my life should be. If I'm going to be happy, if I'm going to live a life of joy, if I'm going to live a life of peace, if I'm going to live a life of prosperity, there are things that I've put in place to say, hey, I don't care what come, hell or high water, you will not take my peace. You would not put me in a place that I cannot love. And you know, y'all, when we start talking about relationships and people that come in and out of our lives and some of the things that they do once we open ourselves up to them, it can put you in a place of rejection or hurt or pain that you say, you know, I won't live a life of love. I won't give again. I won't open up again. But if you already define that this is who you want to be, I want to be a person that lives passionately. I want to be a person that shows love. I want to be a person that lives above all of this. So when those things hit, if I've already been practicing that, I don't let that take me out my groove. I hope y'all hear me. I don't let that take me out my groove. Already, as Glenda says, already above my circumstances will not take my peace. Nothing. You have to decide that. You have to know that before the circumstance hit. You have to know that before the problem arrives. You have to know that before the doctor tells you are going to be struggling with this particular disorder or this particular disease. We had pleasure on here who talked about, even with MS, she has it, but it does not have her. So she's chosen to live above that thing, right? She's chosen to live above it. So you have to make that choice before it even knocks on your door that, hey, I'm going to live above this. Hey, this is not going to get me. Hey, this is not going to take me out. This is not the end of me. You have to know that before. So those are just 3 keys that I really, really, really want you all. Now it says, I know who I am. I want you all to take that with you, that you will be clear about what defines you. Life circumstances don't get to define you. You get to take the experience from that and define how you want that to be in your life. But the circumstance itself does not define who you are. Live according to the values that stand independent. Get that? The values that stand independent of the circumstance. So if I'm a peacemaker, if I share love, if I share joy, all these things that I want to come out of me, those things, those are values that stand independent. They ain't got nothing to do with the circumstance. Nothing. So I continue to live in that, okay, and practice living above those circumstances before things get difficult. Because, like I said, desperate times, people do desperate things. So you have not already established who you are, your values, and how to live above it. Then you'll find yourself doing things that you be like, I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I said it. It just came up. It just came out. You'll find yourself in that position. One I use, I don't have the name out here. Like I said, you hit that button above, I can see the names, but it says, nothing will disturb my peace. I remain unbothered and I'm living above it. Yes. If that's what you're calling, if that's what you're saying, if you're saying, this is what I want, this is how I want to live, then nothing gets to change that. Nothing, I'm telling y'all, nothing gets to change that. So if nothing else, take those 3 nuggets with you today to end out. And I hope you all have enjoyed. I really have enjoyed our guests and our speakers that talked about living above our circumstances. I'm enjoying the new format. You know, I'm trying to get used to having one particular subject that carries us out throughout the entire month, having people come in and tap in on it. I would love your feedback on that. Do you think that's a good idea? Did that work out this time? I want to do that again next month with a different subject or a different series next month. So I'm calling a series per month that we'll be doing. But again, so y'all can let me know how that worked for you all. I think that's an excellent thing to have other people come in and share with us. But again, the main thing for me today is for you guys to take away those 3 nuggets. And when circumstances hit you, you already defined who you are. You already have your core values and you already living above it. It's just coming, but it will not knock you over. Okay. So I want you all to take that with you. I want you to be blessed. I want you to know that God loves you. I love you, and that we can live above anything that presents itself to us or tries to keep us from doing what we know God has called us to do, or live in peace and just enjoy life and be able to have relationships and be able to have friendships and be able to this. Peace is everything. Peace is everything. And so we are not going to let our circumstances take that from us. Love you guys. Appreciate you joining in. Those that jump in on their lunch breaks, those that come back later. I love it. I appreciate it. Ask you guys to continue to pray for me. Let me know what you think about us having a series that covers the whole month so that we can know what we're sharing and we're talking about. But this is the end of that, and we won't be here Thursday as we get prepared for next month to start the next series. Love you guys. Have a blessed one and enjoy the rest of your day.